And a very good evening to you all, wherever you may be watching from, and welcome to the first boys soccer broadcast of the year here on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network. My name is Zach Roseman. I'll be joined by Brett Borum here in just a bit. And like I said, we got some soccer for you here for the first time as Collinsville Kahawks play host to the Belleville East Lancers. It is senior night here at Collinsville. We had 7 seniors recognized earlier, and we'll go ahead and talk about them individually a little bit later. I think all 7 of them, or most of them at least, are in the starting lineup tonight for Coach Rob Lugie and the Kahawks. Yeah, it's a pretty nice night here. And we're getting ready to go here. Collinsville come in with a record of 2-3-1, and are coming off of a pretty impressive 7-0 win over Alton on Tuesday night. Belleville East have struggled a little bit so far this year as they come in with a record of 1-7, and are coming off of a loss last night to the Granite City Warriors by a score of 3-1. This is the first matchup of the year between these two teams. We'll have the return leg down at Belleville East later in the year. As we bring in Mr. Brett Borum. How are you? It's been, haven't seen you since the summer really, so seems like things are going all right for you?
Yes, sir. Things are going well. I think the last time we were together was probably a girls' soccer game in the spring.
Yep.
However, I can't get Kahok soccer out of my blood, and I keep coming. And you know what? I enjoy doing these games with Todd and you, and it keeps me active still in the soccer community.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Nice to have somebody with, frankly, a little bit more knowledge of the game than what I have, but
that's all right.
So, yeah.
We're learning as we go, right?
Right. So, we're it's Colin, you were at that game on Tuesday up at Alton, and
I
didn't watch all of it, but to beat anybody, especially a conference team 7-0, you got to do a fair amount of things right.
They did, and it had been a week or so since I had seen Collinsville play. I know they lost to O'Fallon. I watched that match here on the Kahok Sports Network. And there was a lot of problems in that match against O'Fallon, especially defensively, from what I had seen. Coming to the Alton game, what I noticed most was a lot of adjustments made by Coach Lugie in that starting lineup. But not only just new players being put in that starting lineup, existing players that have been in that starting lineup in different roles. And that was extremely noticeable. And to me, the changes seem to work. 7-0 spells that out, right?
Right.
Good win for the Kahawks, back in the win column, and now they just need to keep the ship on the right track.
Yeah, that's to come out and respond after what had been a little bit of a difficult stretch there. Losing 2 conference games, and then obviously CBC are always a strong program, and going over and playing them on the road at their place is no easy thing, but it looks like things are, going pretty well, and Coach Lugie. I feel like I've noticed a little bit of a trend over the years is that Collinsville teams they'll start out relatively well. They'll get going and they'll start out okay. They'll get a couple wins, and then sometime in the early to middle part of the season they'll go through a little bit of a lull.
Sure. Whether
it's a week, 2 weeks, somewhere in there where, they won't quite have everything together.
Sure.
But then usually they make some adjustments. The guys get used to playing together, and they usually wind up doing pretty well. And I think that's the hope for us again here this year.
It's a new team every year, right? And as I told Todd on the last broadcast, the high school soccer season, it's not a marathon stretched over, 4 or 5 months. You're talking about packing in, 20, 22 games into about 8 weeks, 9 weeks at the most.
End of August and then states in middle of October.
Right.
So.
But you got to keep this in mind. These boys, they work out here all summer.
Right.
The fitness has always been a key for Coach Loogie and his teams. He likes to play fast. He likes to play quick. He likes to play direct. And, so they go through all summer. Their bodies take a toll. They get injured. And then you try to cram in, sometimes 4 weeks or 4 games in a week or 3 games in a week. Yeah. Injuries build up, and it's just it's a tough season.
It's definitely a slog, with the pro level. I know for the MLS, you play more than one in a week, and you're already subbing in.
Correct.
So
there's not much time for recovery.
No, that's something that something that every team. I know Belleville East especially are a team that don't play. I think they only have about 15 games scheduled. They deliberately do that so they have a bit more time to recover.
You know who else does that?
Who?
Edwardsville.
Yeah, they're
they don't play a super heavy schedule like Collinsville traditionally does, and they always have that week off going into the playoffs.
Right,
Collinsville always plays that week right up to it.
All right, we're gonna have the introduction of the starting lineups. We're gonna go ahead and take a break for the national anthem and all that. We'll be back with the starting lineups for both teams here in just a bit on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network.
My name is Rayshawn Taylor, collegiate basketball player at SIUE. At the end of January, I had an ACL injury. I've been searching for ways to come back as best as I can after the construction. Dr. Chris introduced me to the Sofwave machine. I'm gonna be honest, at first I was kind of scared because I didn't want it to shock me and hurt me too bad. And I had heard something about it and I did my research on it, and it turns out it didn't actually hurt. It just was a good pain. It just finding where it hurts to promote the healing, and that's exactly what it did. I've actually had this surgery before. This time I feel like I'm back on my feet quicker, much faster. I'm much stronger than I was up to this point last time. And honestly, I feel like I could play right now. I'm excited to get back on the court. Thankful that Dr. Chris introduced me to this.
Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice, friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahok fans, before, after, or even during Kahok games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows Kahok games live, as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carry-out orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, Kahok fans' pub of choice.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville produces their own spirits and beer on site, right at the restaurant. Pair that with some of the most unique menu items around the entire metro area, and you can see why they are such a hit. They can handle you and your family, or they can handle you and your group. Throw in the occasional live entertainment, and you can see why Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville, 618-855-8027, or online at oldheraldbrewing.com.
Herald Square and Cold Herald, two great additions to the Collinsville landscape. Next to the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, Herald Square is a new outdoor multi-use event space in Collinsville. Concerts, fun and games, farmer markets, and so much more. Herald Square, a great space for Collinsville's future. And Just off the Square's turf, Cold Harold, old-fashioned scooped ice cream gelato, house-made recipes, and premium sourced product. If you're over 21, ask about the good stuff at Cold Harold. Watch Collinsville grow. Harold Square and Cold Harold. 2 great new additions, only in Collinsville, Illinois.
We welcome you back into the broadcast booth here at Kahok Stadium. Zach Roseman and Brett Borum here with you. We're going to go ahead and give you all a rundown of the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Belleville East Lancers, and one thing that we talked about during the break is this is a very young East team. Your starting goalkeeper will be Noah Schaefer. He is a junior. In front of him will be Luke Bauman, a senior, Lucas Shannon, a senior, Kingston Brewer, a junior, Grant Stald, a junior, Oscar Marone, a sophomore, Miles Mueller, a junior, Alex Hogue, a freshman, Eamon Riley, another freshman, Brendan Myers, another freshman, and Karsten Gaw, a sophomore. For Collinsville, most of the seniors getting a start tonight because it is senior night. Davide Santuari will get the start in goal. In front of him will be Juan Carlos Doria, Jake McIntyre, Ty Starko, Connor Pickering, Chris Munoz, Mikey Ortiz, TJ Carter, Sebastian Munoz, Dominic Mann, and Evan Wilkinson. And we mentioned, like I said, this is a pretty young Belleville East team. Not a lot of names that I recognize. Mentioned a little bit that they've struggled a little bit this year, but with a team that young, I think that makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, Coach English has probably identified a pretty talented underclassmen talent with sophomores and freshmen. I think I counted, 5 or 6 underclassmen, sophomores and freshmen combined. That's very similar to what Coach Lugie had back in 2020, where he started, I think it was 4 or 5 freshmen that COVID year. So, you know what? He's probably got something to build around and looks to have a strong team, in the next 2 to 3 years.
Juan Carlos Doria will put it in play for Collinsville, wearing the traditional home purple as the ball quickly comes into East's 18-yard box, but is grabbed fairly easily there by Schaefer. Collinsville in the purple uniforms, a little bit of a lighter purple on the shoulders, white numbers. Belleville East in all white with kind of a dark navy blue, almost black numbers and lettering. Nice and easy to pick out, which makes our life up here in the broadcast booth easier, as we have an offside call, so it'll be a free kick for the Lancers.
I believe Connor Pickering came from an over and back position, offside position, came back, received the ball. So that's the call.
Free kick comes from just in front of the Lancers bench, cleared away by the Kahawks. Up there for Juan Carlos Doria, and cleared away there by the Lancers, number 4. That is Lucas Shannon. As we have another whistle, it'll be a foul on the Lancers.
That's a good call. It was a little slow, in my opinion. Number 4 playing with his hands all over Juan Carlos Doria as he tried shielding the ball.
All quickly moved in, but doesn't really find anybody wearing the purple. As nice job there by, not sure who that is out there. Maybe McIntyre trying to come in. And McIntyre able to come in again, and he's got a pretty good run on, but he's offsides. Not just behind Grant Stald there, who was the last man back for the Lancers. Well, the last field player, I should say.
McIntyre's been moved in this new formation with Coach Lugie came out with against Alton. Now McIntyre moving from a holding mid or holding center mid. Now he's playing left back. So let's see how that plays out as the rest of the game goes on.
Cleared all the way to the center back for the Kahawks, which in this current situation is, like they have Dominic Mann back there.
Dominic Mann is a freshman. Yep,
Yeah.
He's playing center back with Ty Starko. So far, it's been a good pairing this part of the season.
Yeah. And Dominic Mann with the ball now. We'll just go ahead and push it forward, trying to find Chris Munoz there. And he's just dispossessed of it by Lancer defender, working it around now for Stald. And then back to one of the defenders, that is Luke Bauman. I'll just push it back to Schaefer wearing kind of an orange almost color shirt.
Yeah, I'd call it orange. Neon.
Yeah.
Orange.
And the ball is quickly placed, and Schaefer will come out of the 18-yard box, but no pressure really from the Kahawks, and so we'll just kind of push it forward. Man will clear it back away into the Kahawk offensive zone. Munoz making a run here.
He's going to finish.
Yeah.
He's going to finish.
Gets around it, gets a shot on goal, and it's in. Chris Munoz picks up goal number 6 on the year, team lead. And just 2 minutes and 54 seconds in, the Kahawks have a 1-0 lead.
Chris Munoz is in the zone right now.
And coming off he had a hat trick against Alton, so.
Coming off of a hat trick, which going into that match, I had been led to believe he might have been injured, but he started in that game and picked up 3 goals and was able to earn some rest as well as that lead built. Coach Lugie was able to get him onto the bench and rest those legs a little bit.
And quickly there is Connor Pickering coming up, but cleared out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in for the Lancers. They'll come in quickly, trying to get it there to Kingston Brewer. And TJ Carter over there knocking it out of play, and it will be another throw-in for East, advancing maybe 5 yards. Throw-in comes to Brewer, and the Kahawks are quickly able to dispossess him, working it forward. McIntyre, had a run on. But the Lancers are able to stop that as another kind of physical play there between Shannon and Doria. Another throw-in. Man does a good job of shielding, and we'll go ahead and just play it back to Davide Santuari getting the starting goal. Second appearance of the year. He came in relief of Braden Henson during the CBC game. Braden got a little banged up, but Braden is okay, and we'll see how well Davide is able to do here against Belleville East. I'm not sure if... I guess it'll kind of depend on how the game goes, determining if Coach Lugie will look to make a change. All cleared away here on the near sideline. It'll be a throw-in for one of the couple of freshmen in the start for Belleville East, Alex Hogue.
I believe Santuari is the brother of the Italian exchange student Nico Santuari, who played with us 2 years ago.
Yep. I tried to play it over there, get it to another freshman, Brendan Myers, but linesman rules that offside, and so it'll be a free kick. Looks like it'll be taken by Starko from about the 30-yard line.
Play it simple. Play it simple. You got it.
Oh, just going
Sebastian Munoz wide open over here.
Yep. Pushed forward and able to make a play on it there is Mikey Ortiz. He'll play it back to Munoz and out of bounds off of the foot of Eamon Riley. And so it'll be a fairly deep throw-in. Doria moving quickly. Get it into, that is Pickering, and Munoz will just play it back there to Starko, and he'll flush it forward. If he gets it over, a good ball. Not quite the cleanest pickup from McIntyre, and they are going to call it offsides. Yeah, great ball there from Starko, but timed the run just a little early there.
I'm wondering if that was offsides when the ball was played or not. It was. I wasn't paying that close attention, but that was a great ball by Starko, seeing the streaking McIntyre on that left flank.
Yeah. All played up around midfield, and pushing it forward are the Lancers. Starko's got a bit of ground to cover, but he does a pretty good job and is able to dispossess the Lancer forward and get it to Mann, who will maintain possession, work it up into the midfield for Carter, and he'll get it now up to Munoz, and then working it forward, but Schaefer will get to it and launch it pretty high up into the air, but still gets pretty good territory and go off the head of Mann and roll back. And Sebastian Munoz kind of playing a right back role. Will go track the ball down. No real pressure from the Lancer attackers at this point. And that's pushed forward.
Flick.
Schaefer's well over his box. Carter will push it on, and it will be cleared away. Nice job there by the Belleville East defense, but Collinsville will have their first corner as we are just about 5.5 minutes in here.
Connor Pickering almost getting a goal-scoring opportunity there. If he would have just kicked it into one more notch with that speed he has, he might have been able to get a touch on that and put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, Schaefer, he's come out a decent amount to kind of play the ball. I know Coach Lugie said something about the O'Fallon keeper doing something pretty similar. Ball in and a shot just wide. Coming there from Munoz, maybe?
Yeah, that was Munoz,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a couple of guys still with the blonde-dyed hair. It's
hard to tell.
Yeah.
Between him and Juan and Rodrigo, they all
Yeah.
they all have that blonde hair.
Enrique's got it too, but Enrique, there's enough of a size difference that, it's a little easier to pick him out.
I'm pretty sure that's a product of JC Clips.
Mm-hmm. And ball coming up forward here for Belleville East, and a pretty good through ball, but a little too strong, and Santuario will let Munoz track it down, and he'll just let it roll over the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for Santuario.
I'd like to see him come off his line. I think he could have come out and slid or gained possession of that ball as opposed to letting Sebastian Munoz have to run and expend so much energy.
Yeah. Santuario will just go ahead and lay it off for Starko, and he'll play it up forward, deflected there by Hogue, and Collins will quickly able to retain possession.
That's a good ball there.
Good ball there for Munoz with his left foot, getting up there for Doria, and his shot is in. Juan Carlos Doria picks up the goal for the Kahawks, and just over 8 minutes in, the Kahawks have a 2-goal lead.
Chris Munoz is on another level right now. He's seeing the field so well. His main job as that center mid or attacking mid is to see the field. I don't even know how he saw Juan Carlos Doria wide open on that opposite side wing, but man, what a ball that was.
Yeah, and with the his non-preferred left foot, I believe. So, yeah, pretty good job there. Doria will pick up the goal and see what Belleville East are able to do. And it's pressed forward, and decent job there by Luke Baumann making the deflection there and getting it up into the middle of the field. Knocked around a bit, and Ortiz will come up with it, getting it there now to, that is Wilkinson. A little weird seeing him on the soccer field. I've been calling his name so much for basketball.
Well, he played 2 years ago, and then he sat out last year for whatever reason and elected not to play, but back at it this year.
Yeah, it's always good to have him. You like having
athletes
playing, athletes playing as many sports as you can. I mean, I remember, Nick Horse was the starting goalie for the Kahawks.
Yep, 2 years ago.
Now he's
playing basketball at Swick.
Yeah, playing basketball at Swick, so see how that goes. Munoz does a good job there. Takes a little bit of a push there from Riley, but able to work it forward. And now playing it out of the middle there is Miles Miller. And Belleville East looking to make a little bit of a push forward here, and they'll play it into the middle for Stalled. And working it now over here onto the near side for Hogue. And that goes off of the midsection of Munoz, and Collinsville will be able to take possession. Another ball there from Munoz, cleared away by one of the defensive mids. That was Miller again for Belleville East, and will be a quick throw-in taken by Munoz for Collinsville. Starko working it over to Mann, and he'll play it up over here onto the near side, and another good ball through, but that one's a little too strong. And Schaefer whiffed on it, and he'll does a great job kind of throwing the box out there to stop Pickering from what probably would have been a wide open goal.
Absolutely. There's the speed of Pickering I've been looking for right there.
Mm-hmm.
Kid's quick.
Yeah. Belleville East work it forward for the moment, but nice job there from Evan Wilkinson, utilizing that height and strength to work it over, and Collinsville will continue to push it forward. Starko will survey things and just go ahead and dump and chase, and offsides anyway. Yeah, a little too soon of a run there from Doria.
Belleville East is doing a good job of checking their shoulders and pushing up as balls are being played over the top. Clearly that's something Collinsville came into this match trying to do, because we've been captured offsides at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, just trying to
early stages of this match.
Yeah, dump and chase. But good job there from Belleville East as they'll work it in, and a nice job there holding off from McIntyre, and it'll be a throw-in from Collinsville. JV game was pretty entertaining. Wound up being a 4-3 win for Collinsville. It was very up and down. Collinsville got an early lead about 5 minutes in, and Belleville was scoreless for a while, and then with about 10 minutes left in the first half, East got 2 pretty quickly, and Lancers would take the lead into halftime, and then pretty soon after, Collinsville put a pretty good run together. They had 3 goals in about 10 minutes or so, made it a 4-2 lead, and then East did get one back, as looks like we might have our first substitution. Belleville East looking to make a change, pushing it forward, and that is ruled onside, at least for the moment. Munoz playing some aggressive defense there. And
that's a great tackle.
Really good tackle there from
that freshman. 12?
Yeah, 12. Hogue, yeah, great job. He's he's showcasing some skill, and just a freshman, so he'll be a name to watch for the next couple of years for Belleville East.
Yep, absolutely.
Working it forward now are the Kahawks. 27:45 left to go here in our first half of action. 2-0 lead for the Kahawks. Working it back now to Starko, and up along the near side sideline, that will come to Munoz. Munoz with another left-footed strike, and a little too strong. And Doria made a play.
He's not in the box. That he did not gain possession of that ball inside the box.
And referees do not call it. That would be a handball, but they're going to let it go. They'll go ahead and put a pretty nice drop punt onto it. Starko didn't get the cleanest strike on it. Pushing forward there is Myers, and Santuari will have to do some work and does a better job of getting out there and just getting on the ball. So Avide hasn't had to work too much, but he does a pretty good job there. All right. And working it forward. Yeah, this is a little different from what I've seen from some other Collinsville teams, but really trying to get up and down. This is something that you mentioned a little bit, trying to play.
Playing over the top, yeah.
But I think obviously Coach Lukey feels like it's something that he can do against this Belleville East team, and I think so far he's generally been right.
Yeah, I would like to see Collinsville do a much better job of just maintaining possession. I mean, I think the skill level is showing to me right now, these early stages, that we do have a much better skill level. Yep. Here's a goal.
And a shot, just wide there from Pickering. Carter did a good job tracking it down over there in the far corner. But
I would like to see the boys, work the ball around, side to side, use the width, and, just maintain possession and then work for your scoring opportunities. They're going to come. Trust me.
Yeah, they've done possession's been, I think all in all territory's been pretty even, but in terms of the run of momentum, it's been pretty much all Collinsville.
Agree.
No. But the Lancers will push it forward here a little bit. Here is Grant Stalled, and he's able to get it back off of the head of Starko, working it up for Myers, and he'll put a shot, and Santuari saves it, and we do have a goal scored by, I'll get you a number here in just a moment. That is 7, I think. Yep. Grant Stalled picks up the goal at 14-19. Do not have any stats for Belleville East, so I don't know how many that is for him on the year, but the Lancers do get on the board.
That was a definite defensive breakdown between the two Collinsville center backs. Collinsville needs to clean that up.
Yep. All quickly out of bounds, and Davide made a good effort. He made the save, and you would trust that your defenders would hopefully be able to make a play, as Belleville East are going to look to make another run. Starko hustling over though, and it looks like he'll get to it and clear it away for
deflection.
Oh yeah. So it will be a throw-in for Collinsville. Pretty nice night out here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Maybe a little warm during the day, at least for my taste.
Oh, me too. It was a little hot.
But worked out okay. Looks like conditions will be pretty similar for Italian Fest tomorrow and Saturday here at Main Street. Main Street in Collinsville, probably the big community event. So if you're in the area and looking for something to do, as Schaefer comes well out again, and he'll have to hustle back, as Collinsville not really in an opportunity to make a play there, as Munoz puts on a little bit of nice work and then proceeds to
This is the
turn
stuff
it.
I'm talking about. Collinsville's got to clean up the technical side here.
Right.
We're not finding the feet. We're passing to the wrong team. We're not maintaining possession in the middle of the pitch. It's got to get better.
And a little bit of physicality there, as Kingston Brewer and Wilkinson kind of some little physicality there. And it will be Alex Hogue to take the throw in here. Does so successfully, and not a great strike there from Starko, as it'll make it all the way into the bleachers here, which is a decent distance for that to go. Hogue will move up and throw it in once again. And he'll throw it in, headed away there by Mikey Ortiz. And working it over onto the far side now are the Lancers. Solid ball into the middle, but more purple jerseys around, and a good job there from Wilkinson, I believe, to clear it away for a moment. And Carter doing some work there, marking on Stahl, who did score a goal for Belleville East just a minute ago, for those of you who weren't with us. And pushing it forward now are the Kahawks, but Schaefer comes well out once again to make a play on it, and that's a habit of his.
Somebody's going to pick his pocket here before this game's over, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me to see, they about got around him earlier, Pickering and Munoz, but wound up going out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in here as Collinsville will make 4 substitutions.
Number 5, Mikey Suarez.
Mikey Suarez.
Number 8,
Giovanni Mann.
Number 21,
Rodrigo Hernandez Mendoza.
And number 26.
And Enrique Carranza, who has switched numbers, was 15, but wearing 26 tonight. Throw comes in from the just inserted Mikey Suarez. As looks like Coach Lugie going back to more of the normal lineup as Schaefer shanked it, but worked out okay. He'll get it out there to Hogue. And working it up into the middle now is Stahl. Plays it across to the far side of the field. And there's some space and opportunity. Gets around people, and it looks like Starko will get to it. Santuari looked ready to come out and make a play on it, but didn't have to, as Kahawks will work it forward off of Doria, and Belleville East able to regain possession. And
ball's going to stay in bounds.
Yep. And got around the defender, did the Belleville East player. Cross into the middle and headed, but right to Santuari. That was a little closer than you would like. And Davide will quickly throw it on, try to get it to Munoz, but Hogue comes up and able to get around him. Nice job there from Chris, and he'll just go ahead and push it forward, trying to get it to Doria, but
that's just not working.
Didn't work in this situation. Carranza got a touch on it, but doesn't do a great job. But it looks like Belleville East kind of playing almost 4 backs, but really having Hogue, especially here on this wing, kind of cover basically the whole field. And it looks like Myers might be able to get to that ball, but Collinsville defender gets there first.
That's a good job.
Yeah, getting up to Suarez, and now to Rodrigo.
Now we're moving.
Move it forward. Munoz instead of trying to find Rod, and a good job there from Belleville East defender.
I like the throw.
Yeah, the throw is good. Getting in there to Carranza, and a
corner. Nice
clearance there from Miller, and that'll be Collinsville's second corner. Yep. Two to 1 score here. Not quite halfway through our first half of play here. Nice night, as we said earlier, in southwestern Illinois. Corner comes in a little high. Nobody really there for either team.
Drop it off.
Carranza's able to get to it, and then he gets run over. And that will be a free kick from Collinsville. So the opportunity still presents itself here.
Situation like that, Enrique Carranza, his back is to the goal. He's got a defender on his back. He's got a trail. Make the simple play and play it back to your trailer, and then we can play direct from that point. But he's trying to make it too difficult.
Well, worked out okay because
got the
foul call, and so it'll be a free kick here from about 25 yards out. I've always gone with a
back post. Mikey Ortiz here.
Yep. And it runs on in and headed in. That Doria again?
I believe it was Doria.
Yeah, they're going over to congratulate him, so Doria picks up his second. Doria, I think. That's the one they're congratulating, and that'll make it 3-1 Kahawks. At 20-34, I've had 4 goals already Kind of going like the JV game did.
Collinsville Kahawks' third goal of the game scored by number 4, Juan Carlos Doria.
Quickly played back to Schaefer, and he gets a pretty good strike on it. Gets all the way up around there. Myers fighting in for it. But Kahok's able to work it forward as Doria does pick up his second of the game, which gives him... Got a... wrote the stats down, but don't have that sheet right in front of me. I think that's 4 now on the year.
That sounds probably right.
Yeah, somewhere. Yep, that gives him 4 now on the year.
The challenge, Coach Lugie, he's going to be offsides.
Yep. Schaefer got to it anyway, but...
The challenge for Coach Lugie is where are you going to find additional goals from besides Doria and Munoz? You can't just have a two-pronged attack and let them get all your goals. You've got to get scoring from other players on this roster, and I'm just curious how the season develops, who that's going to step up and be.
Yeah, and see, yeah, I mean, you can do a fair amount if you have 2 guys who you can score, but especially if you make it fairly far into the playoffs, there will be some teams that can shut 2 guys down.
For sure.
So
for sure, and that's my point. You know,
it's
last year you had, you'd get 20 goals from a Reiniger, you'd get 10 goals from a Peterson, 10 goals from a Garofalo. I mean, there was balance.
You had balance, and the question is, can you get that third or fourth option at least as an aggregate?
Right.
That's doesn't necessarily have to be one guy with 8, but can it be 3 guys with 4?
You just got to find somebody else that can also contribute offensively.
Chris McGee.
As Belleville East makes a substitution, Chris McGee in, number 18. Substitution for Coach English, I believe they're first. Suarez does a good job there, gets it back to Starko and playing it up into the middle for Carranza. Try to get it there for Hernandez Mendoza, and a solid back pass there to Munoz. Working it back to Rod, but taken away there by Stalt. He's been a pretty impressive option. Wouldn't shock me to see as Hernandez Mendoza. Wait. Well,
you got advantage. He had the ball. He was winding up to shoot.
Well, it's in the box anyway. Like, wouldn't it be a PK?
Well, that's the way it's appearing. But what I'm saying, that's weird because he didn't even go down.
Yeah. Well, okay, it will be a penalty kick, and Doria will look to pick up a hat trick here if he can get it past the keeper.
That was strange because Rodrigo did not even go down.
Yeah, I mean there was there contact. Yeah, it just wasn't a ton, but the referee was pretty quick to say, "Hey, here we go," and Doria
misses.
Missed it. Put it off the crossbar of the football goal post, and so it'll be a goal kick there for Collinsville.
This new style of PKs where you try to throw the goalkeeper off by starting and stopping, and drives me insane. Just go up and hammer the ball.
Yeah, just
hit it.
Just pick a spot.
Yeah.
And just hit it past him.
It's just too much.
Yeah. Maybe that's a bit of an old school mentality to have, but it's not a bad one. I don't know.
I am old school. I'm not gonna lie.
Nothing wrong with that in certain situations. As long as you're willing to acknowledge that the way things are isn't necessarily the best way. But in this situation,
I was right.
I think you were right. All right. So, 3-1 score still anyway, as we're at just about 16 minutes to go here in our first half of action between Collinsville and Belleville East. And it looks like the Lancers will make another substitution. Is that 8? Marone coming back in.
Lovely substitution number 15, Brendan Myers.
Oh, 15. They brought Myers back in. Okay. Yeah, it's like the front numbers are a little hard to pick out from this far away, but a good through ball, but offsides.
Collinsville's got to do a better job of checking their shoulders and make sure that East isn't pulling this offside trap on them. And that's at least 6 offsides in this first half.
Yeah, if the linesmen are, that's what they're paying attention to, and
right.
It's bitten East a couple of times, but a few times it's worked. If you get time those onsides, it could be Collinsville could have another 2 or 3 goals even. Schaefer will come up and take the free kick. He puts a pretty good strike on it up there towards one of the Belleville East players. Kind of work it around into the middle now. Working it forward, but Carter with it, and he'll push it forward, but nobody really there for Collinsville. Getting up to stall now, and Carter, yeah, a little bit of contact there. I think
I can accept it.
part of that was Stalled falling on his own, but I think TJ certainly aided it a little bit.
Agreed.
So it'll be a free kick from Belleville East, pretty far out, nearly 50 yards. So I guess anything can happen, but you wouldn't think it would be a major threat, but still got to be locked in defensively.
This match at this stage could easily be 5-6-1 with some of the opportunities we've had and just haven't been able to cash in.
Yep, playing it into the middle there as that deflected, and I think that they call that a goal kick? I thought that went off one of the Collinsville players, but
I didn't see it.
referees are closer than I am, and they say that no, it did not. So looks like Santuari will go ahead and leave it for Starko. Looks like. Puts a pretty good punt on it, gets it into the middle of the field. Carter with it, gets it up now for Mendoza, I believe. He puts a pretty good run on and off the inside of the ankle, but it almost worked. Had the run there from Hunter. Is that Hunterbrinker out there?
All you've got to do is stick out your left foot. It's in the back of the net.
Nearly. Nearly, but not quite. And that's another opportunity, you know. But I guess you can't be too greedy. You do have a 2-goal lead.
It's a great run here by Rodrigo, too.
Yeah.
You know, beats his defender, slots the ball across the 6, and just nobody there to cash it in.
Yeah. All right, throwing coming from Suarez, and he'll go pretty quickly. Cleared away there by the Belleville East defender. I think that's Bauman. Looks like like we said, a young Belleville East team, as Collinsville will make a sub here. Is that
It's going to be Sebastian Munoz.
Yeah, is Munoz back in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Collinsville substitution number 20, Sebastian Munoz.
Suarez throws it in, but it's headed away there by Miller, and it'll be a throw in from a bit farther up, and it looks like Suarez will leave it for Hunter Brinker.
He's the long thrower on this roster this year.
Okay.
You'll see him get it inside the 18 pretty far.
Yep. And that one's pretty good, and comes down, staying in the 18. Attempted shot there from Mendoza results in nothing, and you got to be careful of the counterattack. Good run there from Munoz out there. Looks like he's kind of switched sides, but he's clear away. He's maybe not the most technically skilled guy, but he's aggressive. He gets after it.
Yeah, and he's showing me some bursts of speed. I have no issues with that. He works hard.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. Kahok's kind of working it around in their backs and now trying to pitch it forward again, but doesn't really come to anybody in particular. Hunter Brinker made an effort to go get it, but a little bit of a push there. But
that was a legit push.
Yeah, a little bit there as head on there, but Starko will just go ahead and let it go, and it will be throw in, and it looks like they like having Mikey do it for, unless you really want to make it a set play.
Yeah, it's usually in the offensive half. You'll see Hunter Brinker. Very similar to Gavin Chrisman 2 years ago.
Right. It looks like Hunter Brinker on a run kind of popped up there by Hogue, and Carranza will use that big frame of his, and it will come out and be a throw-in for Collinsville. I mean, Enrique is not a small guy. He's got to be up over 6'2" anyway.
At least.
Yeah, he's...
And probably,
I don't know.
185 pounds probably.
I was thinking maybe even more than that. But
could be.
Hunter Brinker will have another throw-in. A lot more white shirts than purple shirts, but Hunter Brinker will put it pretty well in, but nobody there wearing the purple, and so Belleville East will look to get a run in, but Munoz does a good job, but it's quickly pushed back out, and Starko will take it with plenty of opportunity, and thought about maybe just playing it back to Davide, but he'll go ahead and move it forward. Got it up there for Vince Palmisano into the game. He had 1 goal, I think, in the JV game, as playing up there now for Riley, and playing it back now and try to get it back to Riley, but little bit of miscommunication. It'll be a very deep in their own defensive zone throw-in for Suarez. They'll just play it to Starko, and Starko will go ahead and push it forward. Gets it over there for Hunnebrinker. And looks like a Belleville East player was able to get a piece of it. Looks like we got 3 substitutions for Collinsville, 1 for Belleville East. And then we'll come in now. Pickering, Ortiz, and Wilkinson back in.
Belleville East substitute number 25, Liam Collins.
As Liam Collins, another senior, comes in for Belleville East. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. So not too many. Collinsville have 7, so and not a huge class of seniors, but for either team. But some of these Collinsville guys have a bit more experience. Ortiz does a good job of dispossessing.
That's a
and
good ball.
Great ball there from Carter. Got Hunnebrinker open, but nice job there from Bauman getting over in front of it. Or actually, that wasn't Hunnebrinker. That was Pickering, excuse me. But it'll be a pretty deep throw-in, and looks like they're going to leave it for. I'm going to have Mikey take this one.
Gosh,
Looks like
that's a long run from your right back to come in and take an offensive throw in that he typically doesn't have a strong throw. It's nothing. Huge.
Got pretty good distance on it, but nobody really there, and the guy slips in the box for Belleville East, but they're able to clear it away back as far as Wilkinson. Does a good job of stopping it, and then promptly gets dispossessed. But Collinsville that's one thing. When East have had the opportunities, it's been 1 or 2 guys. They haven't been able to get big numbers forward. But with the way Collinsville are playing and kind of the offensive strategy that they have, I guess it makes a certain amount of sense. As all played out of bounds there by Hogue, and quickly throwing it in there now is Ortiz. And we have a foul called on Hernandez Mendoza. Belleville East player gets up nice and quickly. As we're under 8 to go now here. Be a very far away free kick for Belleville East. It's taken there by Bauman. Played it out in the middle of the field. Nice job by Carter getting to it. And playing it up for Pickering. And tries to play it back into the middle, but dispossessed Carranza got in there, but Belleville East still able to make a play on it. Miller once again. And working it up for, that's 18, Chris McGee, as we have a foul called probably against McGee, kind of very much a one-striker setup for Belleville East. They, Coach English is saying, we're going to have guys back. We're not going to play. We're going to, kind of pack it in, which, has worked a little better here in the, in this last, 15 minutes or so. Collinsville got those 3 goals pretty early, and Belleville East have defended fairly well since. There hasn't been any super serious opportunities for Collinsville, despite the fact that they've, really owned the territory.
Nope, I totally agree with you. Collinsville's had opportunities throughout this half, just incapable of finishing. Pickering has an opportunity down here. If he strikes that ball with his left foot, he's got a goal-scoring opportunity. Instead, he cut it back to his right. Defender catches up to him. Those are the things that we've got to get better at. Making some of those decisions.
Yeah, it's but this is, kind of that just growing opportunity. I think.
Sure.
I'm assuming that they will probably, I know it's a half day for school tomorrow, so I don't know if they'll practice or not.
Oh, they'll practice.
I'm sure they. I would think they would. And it's I know they've got a game Saturday afternoon. They will go out to Troy to play Trident, a makeup of a game that got
that'll be a good match.
I guess stormed out technically from that first week of the season when it was about 950 degrees in the shade. So it's nice that they were able to get that game made up. And from what I've seen of Tri, this is maybe not quite as strong as they've been over the past couple years, but it's still Triad soccer. Coach Jackson has done a very good job as the Kahoks will work it forward. Cleared back to Carter, who gets a pretty good strike on it, and a nice save there from Schaefer, and it will be corner kick number 3 for Collinsville here with about 5 minutes to play.
TJ Carter doing a great job of gaining possession inside the top of the 18 and just hitting a cannon. Great save by the Belleville East goalkeeper. And we're being pushed back. It must have been a sub or something coming.
No. I guess the referees were. Oh, there were 2 balls on the field.
Is that what it was?
Well, they're working one over to Alex Paz doing the camera work for us tonight. Always good to see him around. Got the Paz Cup again coming up here at the end of the year at Granite City, and had a chance to see the Warriors earlier this year, and they look fairly good. Nice job dispossessing there by Collins, who proceeded to get eaten by the turf monster. Nice cross in there for Carter, but it's offside. Yeah, Collins had a pretty good run going, but got a cleat caught somewhere, and he took a fall.
He fell hard.
He fell, but looks like he's okay. He's going to get back after it.
So that game, Paz Cup, is back at Granite again. It's not in Collinsville this year. It should usually.
Well, I know it's at the end of the year.
Okay.
It probably was it. Was it at Granite last year?
It was at Granite last year. So
okay, yeah, I guess it should be here. Yeah. The Granite City have looked they've looked pretty good. We'll maybe talk about them a little more at halftime. Of course, they just beat these Belleville East Lancers by the same score that we have here. So
they were a young team last year.
Yeah, and
they gave us fits at Granite City. I think we only beat them 3-1, 4-1 at the most, which. Yeah. Everybody anticipated there'd be more goals in that game. Yeah,
and they've looked okay. They've played a pretty solid schedule. Have a decent record. I think they're right around 500, and I know they beat Waterloo. And watched them beat Waterloo, who are traditionally a pretty strong side. So, and they did. I do know they have the benefit of picking up a transfer from here at Collinsville, actually. Joey Morales moving over there, and
that started for us last year.
Yep,
he's been a strong left back.
He's been one of their. I think he's maybe second, and they've got one player who's got 8 or 9 goals, but I think Joey's got 3 or 4 from playing a right back position. So he can
get up into the play with that speed.
Yep. But back to the game we've got here in front of us is we got a lot of contact, and the referee says, I guess, kind of even either way, as a long distance strike there from Stahl gets nothing but air, and so it'll be a goal kick for Starko, it looks like. Got about 2 minutes to go here. 3-1 in favor of Collinsville. Excuse me. Playing it up forward here for Suarez, who doesn't get the cleanest touch on it, but still able to maintain possession. Working up for Ortiz, and that might have been a foul there on Hogue, but referee chooses to let it go, and Bauman will pick it up and push it forward for Belleville East. And placing it out of bounds there was Marone, it looks like, and so Mikey will go ahead and quickly take another throw in, but it goes right to Belleville East. Not a clean strike, but that one's better. And will come out towards midfield as Munoz
lost his glasses.
Yeah. It looked a little awkward, but don't see him bending over to pick anything up. So
no, he did. They fell to the ground.
Ah, well, looks like he got him pretty quickly. That ball's pushed forward, and Santuari will go ahead and let that one collect at his feet. No real pressure coming from Belleville East, and so Santuari will go ahead and sit on it for a minute. I guess there's no pressure, so he's allowed to sit on it. Now we'll
1 minute
pick it
remaining.
up. So very good stall tactics there. It's a pretty good strike on it, so not too bad. It's always a nice thing getting to see. That's a foul.
That's going to be a card.
Yep, that will be on Pickering.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow. All right, here at 40 seconds left, so.
Yellow card issued Collinsville.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty hard foul.
No, I agree. It was. I knew as soon as he went down that he was going to stop the clock for a card.
And bring Carranza back in. I do know that something we can talk about at halftime is that they have released the sites for the upcoming playoffs, so we can talk about that once we get there. That nearly got through everything, but gets nothing but air, and so it'll be a goal kick for Collinsville. I do know that the sectional is down here this year. It's at Alton, so I would assume it would be at the turf field, public school stadium.
I would hope it would be there. One of my favorite places to play.
Yeah, it's I know when it was grass, it was a little. I've heard that the surface there was a little interesting, but now that they've got turf, it really is a very unique venue. And it's nice not having, if you do make it out of the regional, it's nice not having to make a 2-hour-plus drive.
It's got a lot of character. It's a great place to watch a soccer game.
Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we are at halftime here at Kahok Stadium. Current score of 3-1. We're going to go ahead and see if we can find something else to talk about here at halftime, but in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. Be back here in just a bit on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network.
Celebrate the life of your loved one should be as special as the person they represent. That's why you will always find the staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville ready to go the extra mile to meet the needs of you and your family during those times. For over 100 years, Her Funeral Home has been there for Collinsville and the surrounding communities. Of the many arrangements made after losing a loved one, the first is the selection of a funeral home. The staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville can help with that planning. Call Her Funeral Home in Collinsville at 618-344-0187. Her Funeral Home, serving Collinsville families for over 100 years. 618-344-0187. Looking for a new place to catch the game with a cold drink and some great food? Look no further than 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville. 1101 Bar and Grill features pizza, burgers, wraps, and salads, plus 7 large screen TVs to catch the latest Kahok games and all of the pro sports across the spectrum, and all the college football and basketball you can handle. 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville, 1101 Caseyville Road, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Call 1101 Bar and Grill for carryout orders at 618-223-1332. All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent service staff. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. And of course, All Pro Tees is your destination for everything Collinsville Kahawks. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville at 2240 South Morrison Avenue. Online at allprotees.com. Right across the street from Kahok Stadium. All Pro Tees, 618-344-2200. Projects in and around your home can be daunting and overwhelming. Take the stress out of those projects and let AW Indoor and Outdoor Solutions do all the heavy lifting. Former Kahok Adam Welly can help knock those projects off your list. From framing drywall, painting, and stair work inside to deck work, hardscapes, and concrete and retaining wall construction outside your home, including power washing and brush removal. Whatever the task, AW Indoor and Outdoor Solutions can help. Call Adam Welly for a free estimate at AW Indoor and Outdoor Solutions, 314-252-8010. That's 314-252-8010. Got questions about Medicare? If you're approaching the age of 65, the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Bill Holton is a former Collinsville Raider and Kahok football player and is now an independent broker with Senior Health Plans, and he can answer all of those tough questions when it comes to Medicare. Which plan, which part, what's covered, and what's not. If you're approaching the age of Medicare and need those questions answered, let Bill Holton get you those answers. Bill Holton with Senior Health Plans. Call him today at 618-978-2306 or email Bill Holton at william.holton@yahoo.com.
The Collinsville Area Community Foundation is our community's charitable foundation. We connect people, support programs, and guide resources to help our community thrive. Our board is made up of local leaders that donate their time and expertise to identify opportunities for long-term community impact in and around Collinsville. Find out more about scholarships, grants, and ways to give back to the city we love by visiting CollinsvilleFoundation.com.
VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville is one of the area's longest-running VFW posts. VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville is your place to meet and join other area veterans. Plus, VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville offers all kinds of activities to help our veterans, as well as engaging the public with fun, food, fellowship, and a great time for great causes. Blood drives, fundraisers, raffles, and a Queen of Hearts drawing every Wednesday night. Plus, VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville has event space for your parties, celebrations, and other get-togethers. For more information, check out the VFW Post 1117's Facebook page or call the Caseyville VFW at 618-344-9878.
We welcome you back into halftime here at the Kahok Stadium broadcast booth. Zach Roseman, Brett Borm here with you. We got a 3-1 score in favor of the host Kahawks after one half of play, and I mean, I think all in all, I think you got to be happy with the 2-goal lead at halftime, even though there have been some things that Collinsville certainly could have improved upon.
I totally agree with your assessment. You can never complain about a 3-1 lead. Was it pretty? Not necessarily. There were some good moments for sure. The Munoz goal, the Doria header from Suarez, pretty. A lot of good opportunities, but we're just not cashing it in. And it goes back to that question earlier of who else is going to step up and score goals for this team.
All right.
So
it started out pretty early. Chris Munoz able to get that goal, not even 3 minutes in, and not even 5 minutes later, Doria gets his first one, and you're thinking, it could get
the route is on.
It
right?
could, it could get really ugly really quickly. But you do have to give credit to Belleville East. They did get the goal there from stalled about 14 minutes in, and that kind of it gave maybe the impression that the East were they weren't going to go down. They were going to fight a little bit. They weren't going to roll over.
Sure.
And, let Collinsville just totally beat them up. Doria was able to get that second one, and then, Collinsville were able to keep the pressure on pretty well in the second half of the first half, but, no goals so far. And I think, all in all, I don't think you can be too unhappy, but you can always look for things to be better.
Well, I think, here we are. I don't know how many games in we are. Let's just call it 7, 6, 7, 8.
This would be 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're getting close to the midway point, right?
All right.
So coach is going to need to figure out, all right, what's my formation? Depending, of course, on the opponent that you're playing. But what's my formation or shape going to look like? And who are my top 14, 15 players, and maybe it's deeper. Maybe this year it's a deeper bench than he's had in previous years. I know he typically hasn't gone with a deep bench.
Yeah, I know.
In previous years.
Yeah,
so.
typically, I know for Collinsville it's been, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But that'll vary from team to team and year to year. If you feel like, if you need maybe a couple more guys to kind of occupy the role that one guy played for you the year prior, it's maybe you do want to play a few more guys. But yeah, we briefly talked before we reached the end of the half about the playoff sites being out. So the sectional I mentioned will be down in Alton this year. So if the Kahawks are fortunate enough to win a regional, it's a nice 30-minute drive up to public school stadium for the sectional, which would be nice. And then the regionals are at Granite City and Quincy. So obviously if you get a nice high seed, you get to go just 20 minutes down the road, get to play at Gene Baker.
Yeah.
But obviously, And now the question is how, how are the Quincy administration going to be about maybe trying, if it's like us against, say, I don't know, we'll say
Pick a
East.
team, yeah.
Yeah. Against whoever, are they going to let us play that game down here? Or are they going to say, no, we want you to come up?
My guess, if I'm Quincy, I'm saying you're coming up here because guess what?
And that
we come down. If
you
I'm
know, they
Quincy,
come,
we come down here all the time.
And that is the argument, and that's the thing that the Quincy people put out is, we don't complain too much. We have to come down here, and that's just a simple problem of geography. I mean, Quincy's so far from anything else of any significant size now. Some of the old school people could say, well, if you went, if you cut down on, you went back to 2 classes or, whatever, then you could, have them play with like the Springfield schools, and it would still be a drive, but it wouldn't be as bad. But
right. I remember back in my day, now we're going back 30 years, but Quincy even going that far. Quincy was in our section.
Quincy would come down.
Yeah.
And
it was just that was the deal.
Yeah.
It's not convenient for anybody, but if I'm Quincy, I'm making that argument. Hey,
we come down.
We come down there all the time. It's our turn to host, and
we're gonna.
It sucks, but
it's unfortunate for you all, but we're gonna make it happen. So, but I don't know. We still got a while before we get to the playoffs, and so we'll see how that winds up going. As we're actually ready to go ahead and get back underway here. Belleville East will put it into play.
Start the second half. Now in for council number 30.
And it looks like both teams are going to make goalkeeper changes. Sam Hockey, another junior, back in at goal. He's a name that I remember for Belleville East. He's been in goal for, I remember him playing last year anyway as a sophomore, and then Collinsville going with their traditional starter as Braden Henson is back in.
Let's see if Collinsville can just improve a little bit this second half. Maintain possession. Let's work the ball around. As I said, we're a more technical team, even though we're not perfect in that department. Let's maintain possession, work the ball around, and then we earn our opportunities at goal.
Mm-hmm. And you get it up there, and if you can get, at the end of the day, if you don't get anything for the next 40 minutes, then it's still a 3-1 conference win. You get back over 500 in conference, and then you can get ready for
huge.
You got the return leg now pretty much. As you're gonna go back and you're gonna get, obviously Edwardsville, they lost in penalty kicks, and we don't like losing to, they don't like losing to us, and we don't like losing to them in anything. So I'm sure they're gonna want to get us back
for sure.
Still have to play West again. Still have to play O'Fallon again, and.
Based on everything, I told Todd this the other night. Based on this first round of going through, as you call it, the first leg of conference,
right.
I think West is the team to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah, right now, I would think that I would agree with you. Obviously, things change, but I think Coach Matheny's got a really good squad put together, and they've, West have had their struggles as we have a quick corner from Collinsville, but it will be played over to the other side, and it will be Belleville East possession. It's something very much to keep in mind is, he's still, this is probably the best team West has had in, as long as I've been paying much attention to high school soccer, which is only about 6 or 7 years now in fairness, but,
right.
Well,
there's a lot of parity right now in this conference. I'm looking at Edwardsville's record. What are they, 5-5?
Yeah,
5-1, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
O'Fallon, I'm sure they're a little bit better than that, but they haven't impressed me. They had one really good half against us.
Yeah, it was like they had a good 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, defensive breakdowns, and it just
saved there by Hockey on the shot there from Munoz, I believe.
But there were some defensive breakdowns, and Collinsville paid the price for that.
Yeah.
So looking at O'Fallon, 5-2-1, very respectable, but they don't look to be the dominant force.
Yeah, it's like from what I've seen, is Collinsville able to knock it around? And did wind up going in?
No.
Nice job there by Hockey. Kept it.
Great save.
Yeah, pretty much right there on the goal line, but able to make a play on it and keep us at the score that we have currently, which is 3-1. Do have an update on volleyball. They were in action just across the way over at Fletcher Gym. Todd Duke did that one, and from what I hear, the Kahawks brought home a winner as it'll be a 3-set win over Alton, so which gets them back over 500 for their season. It's another conference win, which is always good. As I don't know if I don't think so, but they do have a tournament this weekend at Orchard Farm High School over in St. Charles, so we'll see how that goes for them.
It's a very nice school. I don't know if you've been over there, but very nice
very
facilities,
new.
Very new.
Yeah, only built in the last year or two. Yeah,
It's top notch.
Yeah, I'm sure there's my relative, and I know that there's a little bit of there's a connection there somewhere. I think Collinsville lady Clay Smith has there's some kind of connection out there to Orchard Farm, and
Yeah.
I don't know, from my relatively limited interactions, in fairness, as the shot there goes wide from, might have been Hunnebrinker. From what I've seen there, it's a good program, good people, and I think we're playing them in on the girls side of things. So
we've always play them on the girls' side, and I think the connection is the previous coach at Orchard Farm was Brandon Cox, and he was the father of Georgia Cox.
Played here,
here for the girls, and so I think there's a friendship there that led to the schedule connection.
Yeah,
over the years.
And if you can, it's always a good thing if you can make a few friends in the. Looks like hockey is.
Some shoe problem. Shoe
issue.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was injured there, but looks like he's fine. Just an issue with the cleat, and get us back going here as we're about 5 minutes into our second half of play. Cleared away, and it will remain Belleville East possession. And the throw-in will come now from 14, that is Donovan Dunham, name I did not call in the first half. So making his first presence here, as they'll leave it for him again as the ball moves up a bit farther forward. And they'll play it back now for Stahl, who scored the goal for the Lancers in the first half. And Belleville is doing some good work here, but that one's not played very well. It'll be a throw-in quickly taken by Collinsville in the form of McIntyre. And McIntyre will move up pretty quickly. And, as I said, this is a Collinsville team looking to want to play fast. Rodrigo making a play on it, but Hockey will come out and collect the ball and prevent any further damage. I think, like I mentioned, Hockey, I think, is kind of their, like I said, I don't have any stats for Belleville East, but I think Hockey is probably their number one goalkeeper. I know that Edwardsville are a team that's come to mind. Like, if you have to, you like to play both.
He does. Heiderscheid will
Heiderscheid
play
has
both.
done that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they're in action tonight. I'm not sure.
I had their schedule pulled
I was
up.
like, I'm not sure. I know they played O'Fallon on Tuesday and lost, I believe.
They did. It was a penalty. Did it go to penalty? No, overtime.
Oh yeah, I was like, I know it was pretty close there at the end, which makes a certain amount of sense, but it's kind of interesting. Really, just kind of a new look across the board in the conference as the Kahawks work it forward, back to Hernandez Mendoza, and he'll play it back to McIntyre and cross in. Ooh, probably was an opportunity there for Doria if he. But I don't think he was quite expecting the cross, but it's a really good ball, but it looks like it'll took a deflection off a Belleville East player, so it'll be a corner kick for Collinsville. Comes in nice and low, headed away, and that one will be a goal kick for Sam Hockey.
Edwardsville is playing West tonight.
Okay. That'll be probably a pretty intriguing.
That should have some interesting implications for the conference.
Yep.
And then O'Fallon is at Alton. As I said, parity's the deal right now in the Southwestern Conference. The Collinsville dominated the Southwestern Conference for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean they had it was like four straight conference
wins, as my T-shirt shows you right now.
Yep.
But it's anybody's game right now.
Yeah, it's and I think that that kind of comes with high school sports, and I think that's part of the thing that I enjoy. What makes me enjoy it more than maybe other levels is like with college especially, like who's going to be good at whatever sport. But here, it's like, yeah, you have your programs that are consistently pretty good, but there's variety. Like I said, Belleville West are having a really good year this year. They've looked like the best team in the conference, and do have a foul there. It'll be a free kick from Collinsville from a little over 30 yards out.
This is a dangerous spot, and this has got Munoz, Suarez written all over it. I'm gonna.
Yeah, they got Mikey out there, and he'll play it on pretty quickly, but try and set it up for the cross. Working it into the middle. Shot gets through, but unable to find the left foot of anybody. It's another couple of kind of like the end of that first half. Pretty consistent pressure for Collinsville, but no. Maybe even a couple of scoring chances, but no major, nothing that's broken through for that, fourth goal yet.
That was a prime opportunity. Ball coming across your 6-yard box. Someone's got to be crashing that net. I don't care if you got to stick a toe on it. It doesn't matter. Somebody's got to get a body on that ball coming across the 6.
Ball comes off the head of McIntyre, and it will be a throw-in quickly taken here by Belleville East. Playing it up there now for number 15. That is Myers. Called his name a decent amount, and as you mentioned in the open, very young Belleville East team. They got 3 or 4 freshmen getting pretty significant minutes. So,
yeah, they sure are.
Especially in the forwards. Seems like the defenders are a little bit more experienced as Carter gets kind of taken up, but Doria's got a run, and it's like maybe could have played advantage, but the referee says no, we'll bring it back, and it'll be another free kick from
that ball
Collinsville.
got away from JC there. So maybe that's what led to him blowing the whistle, electing to blow the whistle. But I would have agreed if that ball would have stayed on Juan's foot, you don't make that call.
All right. Suarez having a discussion with the referee here. It'll be about 40 yards away. Right about the numbers. Maybe 5 yards or so off the sideline. Played into the middle, really big curve, and Hockey able to grab it. That was
well struck.
Yeah, the wind is kind of pushing that way, kind of coming here into the press box off of the right from your point of view. So it's picked up maybe just a little bit, as that should be onside, but Henson will do a good job of letting it come to him in the 18, and we'll go ahead and grab it now. Roll it out quickly. Yeah, this is one of the fastest, I don't know, in terms of overall team speed as they work it forward. Rodrigo had a shot at it, but
did a good job of bringing the ball down. He just couldn't get it settled enough to get a strike.
And went off a Belleville East player, so it'll be another corner. So yeah, it's Collinsville continuing to keep the pressure on. Yeah, it's good. Get back to. Get another result here as that's cleared down in the middle, and got a toe on it, and Doria, I think, chipped it, or
that ball ping-ponged off about 3 or 4 different players there.
Yeah, it wound up just going wide, and
I believe it was McIntyre.
Yeah,
the
McIntyre.
Strike
yeah,
that just went wide of that right post.
Hockey will go ahead and survey things, and then go ahead and push it forward. Gets a good strike on it. And kind of avoids everybody, but Dominic Mann back there able to clear things away. And for a freshman, he's kind of impressed me. I don't think he's quite where. There's a great through ball there from McIntyre, and he tries to set it for Munoz again.
Love the pass by McIntyre.
Yep, and that is goal number 4. And Munoz and Doria now with 2 apiece, and that makes it 4-1 here as. We're not quite 52 minutes in.
Yeah. So going back to where you were, I think you were going, and I'm not certain, but you were talking about Dominic Mann as a freshman stepping into a starting role.
And kind of filling the
Dane Compton role.
Yeah.
I thought that's where you were going to go, but I think that's really Ty Starko's role right now. He's the leader of that back line. Yeah. And we're playing a different formation. We're playing 4 flat in the back, where we always played with Dane as a sweeper with 3 in front of him.
And that is offsides. We about had another.
Yeah. So I know where you were going, but he's getting significant minutes and experience. It's going to pay off for him, not just this year, but for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and that's 7 seniors in the grand scheme of things isn't that many.
Right.
Obviously, you got some pretty experienced guys, but there are some. We've seen some underclassmen have some success. I know Vince Palmisano is really impressed at the JV level as a sophomore. We've got a couple freshmen coming up and playing JV this year, so the future looks pretty good. And that's one of those things that you can say about any program is the more success. Success breeds more success.
Sure.
You have a good run of a couple years, you get kids invested in, you get the young kids who are sitting in the stands at first, and they're just like, hey, I want to go do that. And so you keep doing that, and, you continue to get better as Mendoza with a pretty good ball here, getting up there for, is that Suarez out there? And, Hockey able to get a foot on it and cleared away. It will be Collinsville possession here, but, Hockey and whatever one of the Belleville East defenders got a good job back there. Is a pretty quick strike there from Munoz, I believe, goes well wide.
Yeah. When you have a team like you had last year and for the last 4 years, where you had, you replace 6 starters that graduated as seniors, you have to find players to fill those roles. And I think, Coach Lukey's done that. He's found players that he can plug into those graduating seniors' spots. And, Chris and Juan keep scoring. That makes up for the Adam Reiniger 20-goal years.
If you got, that's one of those things is McIntyre doesn't get the cleanest strike on it. It'll be a throw-in for Belleville East. And Dunham once again. Something that, this in some ways, this year kind of reminds me of my senior year, which would have been the 2019-20 season. Obviously, you had the 2018 season go all the way to state, but you graduated a lot.
Yep.
And things started off a little slow, and it took a while for having to replace. But
that was a rebuild,
yeah,
right?
It was a little bit of a rebuild, but they still had a fairly good year. They still, I think they went 13-9, wound up being their final record.
Okay.
And for that to be a quote-unquote down year, it's like, 13-9 is about as good as you're going to get at some schools. Okay. So you got to feel, it's not great for our standards, but
that year also, they had probably, 12, 13 seniors. They were senior heavy that year.
Then you hit COVID, you get the spring in, and you get last year's class, and you had 5 or 6 guys that were 4-year starters, and they had 2 super sectional appearances. As we do have a goal for Belleville East, kind of against the run of play, comes in pretty well.
Unmarked.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they're going to give that to. Didn't quite catch a number, but
I didn't either. I was,
they were caught here yakking. I don't have.
Sir, who got that? Do you know? Who scored that? Do you know?
Stalled with the assist. 7 with the assist. Bear with us here, folks. All right. Bear with us here, folks, as we're resuming action here. We do not have the identity of the goal scorer. Trying to figure it out here.
Even the Belleville parents don't know who scored.
Yeah, even the Belleville East players don't know. We do apologize, but we got caught talking. We totally missed it. Dorian nearly picked up that hat trick. He missed that peak. He about had it in the first 20 minutes of the game. He had the penalty kick, and he pushes it high. They're going to give it to Kingston Brewer, number 6. All right. We figured that one out.
Beverly's second goal of the game scored by number 6, Kingston Brewer. 9 goals, 55-16, Brewer.
So that keeps things competitive here. So, still keeping it a 2-goal game, which is I think, obviously for Belleville East, this is, they've had a, fairly solid run. They've traditionally been a solid, team as quickly moving forward, and Carter pushes it wide. And, yeah, so, Collinsville again keeping the pressure up, and, I think that is part of the reason why they gave up that goal. They just kind of let it slide away, and just you got caught pressing a little bit, and they were able to get behind the defense. And
yeah, somebody was sleeping back there. I was talking more than I was paying attention to that.
Yeah, it's a nice, pretty good effort there from Stahl trying to keep it in, but unable to do so. Carter able to work it up into the middle of the field, and now over onto the far side for McIntyre, I believe. Is that out there? Pushes the ball forward. Tried to get it up there onto the foot of Pickering.
Pickering's trying to save it with that speed, but unable to do so.
Be another goal kick for hockey. Not quite halfway through our second half of action. We got about 22 minutes to play here at Kahok Stadium on a pretty nice Thursday night. Temperature's probably in the, mid-70s, I would say, here at this point. Belleville East working it forward and playing it back now around for Dunham.
Handball. Not calling it.
Not called. They're going to let it go as pushing it forward there was Miller, and working it over onto the far side, but clearing it away nicely there was Geoman. And working it forward again, our Belleville East, but Collinsville, they still have 8 guys forward to midfield, so they're pressing hard. Definitely is another ball into the middle, trying to get it there for Pickering, but the runs have been there for Connor, but
they've been there,
but he hasn't been able to quite get everything together to get the goal. But that was something that we talked about. We mentioned trying to figure out who, if you run into a team that can shut down Chris and Juan Carlos,
right?
Maybe Connor can be that third option for us. But we'll see. Obviously, he hasn't been able to get that going yet. But, he's still, I don't even know if you could call it halfway through the season yet. So it's still September. It's still warm by my standards anyway. Right. So, I know that's one thing that Todd Duke and I vehemently disagree on. So, we'll see. But, But I think the goal now is to just keep it going, keep everybody healthy, and if you can get another goal or two, then, well, that's just icing on the cake, right?
Yep.
All right, Belleville East possession looks like got a whistle here. Not a particularly large crowd here tonight, but still have a few fans in attendance, and we're happy to bring it to you if you can't be here. And pushing it forward again, our Collinsville, but it's played back to hockey. And up now. And nice job there by McIntyre, able to get to it, but Belleville East again able to push it forward. And getting it up there now for McIntyre again. He'll play it back over to Suarez. And up now for Starko, and he'll get it to Geoman. Looks like, I see, they are brothers, I assume?
They are, yes.
Yeah, okay. I was like, there has been, you never do know. I remember one example that I have is Madison basketball. A few years ago, they had 2 Moores, who were two guys with the last name Moore, who were their 2 best players. I assume they were brothers, weren't even related. So I figured, I was like, you can assume, but you never
know.
Yeah.
You have a lot of cousins. And
you get cousins, and, if you get a relatively common last name, it's like, volleyball. They've got like 4 or 5 Johnsons, and some of them are related to each other, but some of them also aren't, as Carter will pick up a foul there. As pushed up there. Stahl was the one who suffered the contact, but looks like he's fine. We'll go ahead and tie his shoe here as we're about 18 and a half to go here. 4-2 lead for Collinsville. Free kick will come from just inside of 50 yards. As Here we go. Ball in play. Have a low line drive and kind of got through into the 18, but nobody wearing the white able to make any contact with it, so it'll be a free kick for Braden Henson.
Braden Henson got himself an assist the other night at the Alton game on just a laser of a punt.
Yeah, it's not too often you see that, but it does happen. I know.
I think it was an assist on maybe Carter's goal. I'm trying to remember now, but it was on there as but I know probably the most significant goalie offensive interaction was in a regional game against Granite City. Oh gosh, probably 6 or 7 years ago now. They it was a regional game here, and they played Granite City, and Granite City brought up their goalkeeper to take a free kick from 35, 40 yards out, and he put it in the back of the net. Yeah.
So it can happen. So obviously it just kind of depends on what how coaches are with that sort of thing, and
right.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to personal preference. Carter's got a lot of space,
and
but he's behind the defensive line. So the rule for those of you who may not be super familiar with soccer is when the ball is played forward, when it's kicked, the most forward defender has to be in front of the farthest back member of the defensive team. So
that's correct.
Yeah, I was like, I hope I explained that correctly. So yeah, that is how that works. As it'll be played out by Carter. It'll be another throw-in for Belleville East. Be taken by Dunham once again, and another senior. Pushing it forward, headed down there by, that was Wilkinson back in. Yep, he's in that fairly tall frame of his. Doesn't actually look that tall out there on the field, though, but he's not small.
I don't feel like he's as big as his brother was.
No, he's, well, even on a basketball roster, I think Jake was listed.
Well, there's a good ball.
Yeah, Jake was listed at, I think, 6'4". Looks like it'll be a 3-on-4. Going to make a run, but a nice play there by the East defender as the moon comes into view, and it is very orange. Very orange and very full. Starting to feel like fall as...
Look at this. There was nobody within 10 yards of Enrique as he tried to cross that ball inside the 6. If that ball drops inside the 6, there's not a Collinsville player near it.
Yep. And he was able to actually get an effort on goal, but Hockey able to make the play, but nobody else back. He got, playing 8 guys forward in midfield, although it looks like Collinsville has maybe eased off the pressure a little bit. Now they've got, now they're playing a bit more passively, for lack of a better term. But, with the 2-goal lead, I don't think you can blame Coach Lukey for making that sort of an adjustment. Wilkinson able to regain possession, and he'll play it back to Starko, who pushes it forward to midfield, but unable to find anybody wearing purple, at least for the moment, as Pickering goes down, and looks like he's feeling it a little bit. Hopefully he's okay, as we're going to play on here. And there we are. All right, we will have a stoppage now.
I did not see...
Yeah, I didn't see the initial contact.
I don't know if he's holding ankle.
Yeah, left ankle. As,
I wonder if he rolled it.
Yeah, as Coach Lukey and the trainer on staff come out to check on him. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break here while Pickering is attended to. Be back in just a bit on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network.
The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org.
Pickering is being helped off the field with a little bit of help, but it looks like he's making his way mostly under his own power, which is always good to see. You don't want to, you don't want to see anybody get hurt at any level of the game.
No.
Especially at the high school level, but looks like he's he's definitely feeling it a little bit, but looks like he'll be able to make his way to the bench and with less than 15 minutes left and a 2-goal lead, I wouldn't think you'd probably just let him rest. And
I would think so. I think he's probably done for the night. He was in quite a bit of pain holding that left ankle. I'm not sure if he was kicked or if he rolled it, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so he's been able to put some weight on it.
Yeah,
so
he's got weight on it for sure.
So, so with something like that, you would
leave that shoe on because as soon as you take it off, it may just swell right up.
Yeah, but looks like he'll be more or less okay. Get some ice and rest as Maul quickly played in, but Henson able to scoop it up and go ahead and move things along here. Ball is played high and bounces around. Some run on there as Munoz was offsides, but somebody else able to make a run and a pretty aggressive tackle. And
he got ball, but I think,
I think they called play on,
yeah.
But Kahok player is down as they will stop the clock again. I'm not sure.
Sebastian Munoz down.
Was that Sebastian down there?
I believe, yeah. He's been making these runs up that right wing. And he's showing a lot of speed.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't get a lot of minutes.
Yeah, but he's maybe if he's coming in, he's done some solid work. Maybe that will earn him a little bit more playing time as kind of a a bench defender as the Kahok player.
Sometimes you just got to earn that trust of your coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be a starter, but getting some solid minutes, on a senior night and getting an opportunity and showing what you can do.
In a conference game, obviously.
Looks like coach is lobbying for something. I don't know if he's lobbying for a call.
Yeah, maybe. There was definitely some contact, but it looks like he got ball.
I thought he got ball, when he made that initial slide tackle.
It looks like they're going to bring in is that Rodrigo
That's
coming
back?
Rodrigo
coming back, yeah.
Yep. So it'll be a deep throw in. Comes into the box, but has a shot in.
Oh, we got a goal.
Is that
That's Enrique.
Enrique, there you go.
Doria lets the ball go, almost like a dummy play. The ball is played directly to Juan's feet. He let it go through, and Enrique just comes in and hammers it home.
It's my looks like my statistician has disappeared, so I'm going to have to go grab the notepad so I can write this down.
You have a statistician?
Fifth goal of the game scored by number 26, Enrique Carranza. Time of the goal, 66-20, Carranza.
Sorry about that, folks. Not sure. Joshua's been helping out, but he has disappeared. Not sure. I don't know where.
You may have to fire that family statistician.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure where he went. Not sure if he had to go use the facilities or what happened, but I'm sure he'll come find me eventually. As anyway, goal for Carranza is
his first of the year.
First of the year, and that makes it 5-2, and Collinsville regain that 3-goal lead once again. So, yeah, Collinsville looking at the statistical categories, I mean, they've, pretty well dominated everything from from the offensive standpoint. And I think you kind of expected that to a point.
I did. I did based on some of the scores that I had seen and whatnot. I certainly expected Collinsville to come and win this match.
It's a, kind of see. I know. As it looks like another opportunity is Hockey just able to get to it, but redirected around, and it will eventually be cleared away by one of the East defenders. Very nearly could have been 6-2, and
just missed Doria's feet.
It's past Dorian, and it'll be picked up by Hockey, and so now we're at 12 goals in 2 games is not something you see very much, at least at
not in the Southwestern Conference.
Not in the Southwestern Conference anyway. But Collinsville has shown the ability to score the ball, and you've been able to see it from a few different people. You've got 3 guys scoring 5 goals. As big hard tackle there, but got ball. Nice effort there from 15.
That was 9.
9. Miller doing
that's the second slide tackle that he's won in that defensive third.
Yeah, he's coach. One thing I'll say for Belleville East is they haven't really let up. They've played.
No quit.
Yeah, they've played hard, and I think that's been a trend with Coach English's teams. He's been.
I agree.
Yeah, he's been at the helm there at East for.
And he had some good teams here over the
last
last few
some,
years.
Yeah, he's had some decent teams, but kind of a young team as Munoz went down for a second, but looks like he's okay. So we're just about 10 minutes left here.
These are moments where I would look to rest some of your players, your Dorias, your Chris Munoz. At least get them some rest, and don't expose them to injury.
You don't need in a game that you've already got pretty well won. As Belleville East will go ahead and re-enter Chris McGee again. He'll take the place of 15. That's Myers. That might be the end of his night. Hockey will put it back into play, and it'll find the left sideline. So Collinsville will have possession here. I mentioned earlier that the next action for Collinsville will be Saturday afternoon at Triad, as we have a foul called against the Kahawks.
I'm real curious to see the results of that Collinsville Triad match. Always a good rivalry, even though it's not a conference team.
Yeah, it's
but they're good to have on the schedule because they're always good.
Yeah, it's I think in general, having I feel like across the board, if you look at Collinsville and Triad, and you're matching up in just about anything, and you feel like you're going to be pretty competitive with each other.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Soccer, boys and girls. Well, actually, I don't know if the girls usually play them, right?
Yep.
As boys and girls soccer, I know boys and girls basketball, baseball, softball. Really, I know we do some stuff in with track and field together. I know new Kahok boys track coach Chad Burgess is a Triad alum, so I'm sure there's still some connections out there. And it's a team right down the road. It's always good.
No, it's always good rivalry, and Triad pretty much what are they Class A?
They're 2A.
So we're 3A.
Yep.
Yeah. So they've pretty much dominated 2A down south here for the last several years, just like we dominated 3A for those 4 or 5 years.
Yep. And they've one thing is with the change in IHSA enrollment, with the success factor and all that, I know that Althoff are up into 2A now, so it's and obviously Coach Birdsong's taken over coaching the boys and girls now with Coach Jurgen.
I did not know that he took over the girls.
Yeah, he's I think this upcoming year will be 2 or 3.
Okay.
So they're leaving Jurgen to just focus on coaching the girls at Swick. which he's been doing for a number of years. Yep. As Doria pushes it in and just pushes it front side of the net.
Mm-hmm.
As Collinsville make it. Is that Sebastian coming back in?
It is. I mean, it does not look to be hobbling.
Nope. So that's good. See, looks like he'll take the place of.
Now, Coach Lugie is moving him up into the midfield now, and I'm wondering if he's taken notice of some of these runs that he's been able to generate, especially on that right-hand side.
Yeah,
he's got some speed.
Yeah, he's listed as a midfielder on the roster. Obviously, positional flexibility absolutely is one player from both teams goes down, and referees are content to let them play on. So we're at about 6:45 left. Carter will push it up to some empty space, but Belleville East player able to get there is Rodrigo able to make a play, and Munoz kind of moving him up almost. They're just going to go ahead and put him at striker for right now.
Kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, well, you're going to give him the opportunity. That'd be a nice thing if you could maybe get a run on and maybe try and get him a goal, because he's mentioned, kind of a bench guy, but he's really been doing a lot of the good things.
I see wheels. I mean, it's nice.
Speed. The saying goes, speed never slumps, and if you're hustling and making plays, then I think Coach Lugie will have to notice something like that. And that,
for sure,
if nothing else, gives him another option off the bench against.
Just to give a spell to your primary 2 or 3, front runners or wings or whatever. Yeah.
Wherever they wind up deciding to put him. As Doria fighting with the East defender, and it goes out. It will be a corner kick, it looks like, which is 6 or 7 now for Collinsville. So it's, like I said, it's been a pretty well dominating performance. Able to get 2 conference wins, which, if this score holds, by able to get 2 conference wins by a combined score of 12-2, you're feeling pretty good. Corner kick comes in, and it is headed away there.
And you already have
Stahl.
the conference win against Edwardsville. Your only loss right now is the O'Fallon. Oh, and West.
O'Fallon,
and West.
Yep. So 2 losses. Get 3-2 through the first leg, as that one's pushed well wide, kind of through the wind, but Rodrigo able to handle it. It'll be a extremely deep throw-in from about 4 yards off the end, and Kahok's playing pretty quickly here. Playing it back to McIntyre over there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that comes through. Oh, and it kind of bounced a bit farther forward than I thought. I thought TJ had a wide open goal face.
Yeah, but
kind of bounced back around him as
goalkeeper did a good job of pushing it away out of danger.
Yeah. Yep. Cross coming in to the middle, and Rodrigo had some space, but that gap closed pretty quickly as big long strike from Starko, and a good save there from Hockey. Starko does have the first goal of the year for the Kahoks.
Yes.
He got the
header.
Yeah, header off of
Suarez.
Yeah, off a corner kick in that tie with Rochester that opened the season. So
that was a missile.
Yeah,
that was a pill.
Probably, pushing 40 yards out, and it was on target.
Oh, for sure.
Hockey made a good effort, good save. Another corner coming in, bounces around, still in the box. And Collinsville will play it back, trying to reset. Another strike from Munoz, goes high and just high, not wide. As Belleville East will make a substitution here. It's very quiet.
It is.
Yeah, it's just
there's not much stress with these fans tonight. I think they know the kind of the deal.
Yeah, I think it just kind of was what it was, and there's been cheering for good things, as Mendoza puts it.
Rodrigo, back post, baby, back post.
Yeah, got a strike on it, but right to Hockey, and all in all, I feel like he's played.
Rodrigo works hard too.
Rodrigo's played well, and the Hockey's played a relatively solid half.
Look at him. I mean, Rodrigo is not stopping.
Yeah,
he's working.
Yeah, that's they're. I mentioned Belleville East not really slowing down, and we haven't slowed down all that much either. They're going to call it off of East. East fans not real happy about it, as Rodrigo getting a bit of a push there from Stalled, as Belleville at least looked to make a little bit of a run forward with about 2.5 to play, just outside the 18 shot right at Henson, and he's able to get a hold of that one without too much difficulty. All back out is like there's a train going by. Track's over on the other side of Morrison Avenue. Can't see it, but sure sounds like there is one.
I see it. You can see it over there. In the shadows.
Yeah, it's like your eyes are probably better than mine.
I got my glasses on.
Yep. Ooh. All right. Belleville at least will make a push forward, but able to make a play on it there is McIntyre again. Yes, it is. Gets forward, but Hockey, is had a run on there from that Munoz over there again.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sebastian continued that high energy, and this is I don't know if it is ultimately faster, but this feels like one of the higher more up tempo Collinsville teams that I've seen in since really since Coach Luggie took over. But if you have speed, you got it. Collinsville's never been a team that's been extremely well gifted in the physicality department.
No, I mean the teams that my son was a part of here for 4 years, they were small. They were not big, and they had speed. You had Peterson and Reiniger who could get up the field, but they weren't blessed with size. But they were blessed with skill.
Yes,
and
they had plenty of it.
Yes, and so that was their game. That was their style. This team isn't as gifted, technically as those teams were, but you got to play with your strength.
Yep, you gotta, and if you have athletes, you gotta use them. That goes for any sport. You gotta find a way to utilize the talent that you have.
Yep.
So, just about 30 seconds to go here, as Collinsville will get back to 500 in terms of wins and losses. They'll improve to 3-3-1. And Belleville East will drop to 1-8 as we have a late whistle as Collinsville players down, but getting up there pretty quickly is Suarez, and they're still pushing forward trying to get another one, trying to get it to Munoz off of a head, but Hockey's able to get to it, and that will wrap things up here at Kahok Stadium. So, a 5-2 win for the Kahawks. All in all, Mr. Borm, I don't think you can be too disappointed in that result.
No, not at all. Collinsville is continuing, on the winning trend here. Two back-to-back conference wins over Alton, Belleville East, games that they should have won.
Right.
Now, we move forward. We play Triad on Saturday, and we have Edwardsville back here on Tuesday.
All right.
And I know Edwardsville is going to want to get back at us for that win over penalty kicks.
All right.
So
I know my next broadcast. I know I'm doing. I know I've got Tuesday and Thursday. I've got volleyball one day, soccer the other. I don't remember which day I have which. But I do know that I will be back next week for one of the games, and I think the other one's against West. Yeah.
Yep.
So no matter which one I'm doing, I should be getting a pretty good one here.
Yep. For sure.
So yeah, Belleville East will be in action next on the 24th, which will be next Tuesday, as they go up to Alton to take on the Redbirds. So yeah, we'll see. That was a pretty entertaining game the first time they matched up. Alton picked up the win in overtime or PKs, but it was a close encounter, and we'll see what I think there were some things for Belleville East to build on. Sure. We're able to score 2 goals, but Collinsville are the winners here tonight. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Like I said, my next broadcast, I got 2 broadcasts for you next week, one next Tuesday, one next Thursday. I know I've got one volleyball game, one soccer game, and I'll be sure to check the Facebook page. We'll tell you all what exactly I'm doing. But until then, everybody stay safe, enjoy the upcoming Italian Fest if you're in the area, and if you're not, then have a good weekend, and until next week, I will see you all soon.